Tov, a good Erev Shabbos, a good Chodesh. We have the schus, we have the privilege of being with Rav Steve Gardner, who is my chavrusa. I mean, we good friends, and we learn, and we talk, and we schmooze. We're walnuts. We love the wall, the kotel. And I'm going to start this year. Steve wants to hear English. I have a little Hebrew, but I'm going to start this year with my story of what took place today. I was supposed to get a ride because it's the marathon, and we're going round the mountain because they closed many of the roads. So I worked out with someone that they would close the main highway at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I said, you know what? Pick me up 2:45. He knew exactly where I am, on the corner of Ramban and Rashba. And guess what? I got a call from him. 1:15 instead of 2:45. 1:15. He says, I'm Ramban. Where are you? I said, well, could you be there in 15 minutes? Could I be there in 15 minutes? So I rushed. I got there, and he left. He wasn't there anymore. I called him, and he says, well, I thought you had another ride. I said, no, I didn't. Anyway, bottom line is I was stuck. And it was like 1:30 in the morning. And I figured, you know what? Let's see if I can get a ride. And sure enough, a gentleman with a family of, I would say, 7 children. They were all packed in. He stopped for me, and he said, of course. Where are you going? I said, to the hotel. He says, I'll take you to Mamilla. So one of the kids got out, made room for me in the back seat. I didn't want to see. There were so many kids jumbled together. And we started talking. And he told me he's going to take me all the way through the Kotel. He had a special pass to go through Shar Yafo. And he was just a tzaddik. And he picked up someone else on the way. So more kids in the back. His name is Yuval Marcus. And where does he live? He lives in Sheikh Jarrah. Where are we? Which way are we going, Steve? Sheikh Jarrah. So Sheikh Jarrah, he told me, has 18 Jewish families, because Sheikh Jarrah is right next to Har HaZeisim, right near, it's the old city, and it's in an Arab neighborhood. So you know it's a Jewish presence. So we are going through Sheikh Jarrah on the way back, and it just shows you the chesed, the wonderful chesed of Jews. Picked me up in the middle of the night, and I got to the kotel. And even greater chesed is my great chavrusa Shaya. We're going around the mountain. We're going completely around the mountain because there are blockades. We're not talking about Donald Trump and a naval blockade. We're talking about a mitzad, the marathon blockade. Okay, I wanted to talk about ER. So we all know ER, month of ER. Many people say Ani Hashem Rofecha. You've heard that, Steve? Mm-hmm. Okay. But my Rebbitzin, when I was talking to her early this morning, she said she heard that ER is Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and Rachel. You hear that one?
No.
Okay, that's a new one for me. So the name of ER came from Golas Bavel, and it's the Mata Ephraim says that it's from the word Aros, which means or in Babylonian. So ER is really light, and it's true that it's also known as Chodesh Ziv, which is also splendor, light. And okay. I also have other things to say about ER, and I'm putting it in our chat. I also want to mention Shmayahu, the one who hands out our Gilyonot. He actually wrote on the Chodesh, he actually wrote that I am B'Sefer Shari Yerushalayim, Al Menhagei Yerushalayim, Reb Moshe Reicher, Sheb Yerushalayim, hear this? Ein omrim tachnun b'chol chodesh iyar. He brings down a source that says that Minhag Yerushalayim is not to say tachnun through the entire month of Iyar. Did you ever hear that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay. I think your minion never says tachnun.
Well, we've gotten much better.
Gotten much better, okay. Ken Kosov Gamra Mesha Tanabaum, he writes, Neched Haneta Shorech, Baal Yerushalayim B'miuchad, Kidei Lakir Menhagei Eretz Yisrael, Lomad Kam B'Chavrusa, in Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld. B'Sifro Masaot Moshe, he has the Haskamas of Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld, Rabbi Shaul Broch, and Rabbi Shmuel Engel. Gam Kamana Kovea B'Sifro Shulchan HaTohar Minha Kodesh Kodami Minha Yerushalayim HaGedumim She'ein Omrim Tachman B'Chol Yemei Sfira V'chein Anu Nohagim. Okay, and he also brings a Siba. What's the reason? Shekosei B'Shar Yerushalayim Al Asher Chagago Pesach Sheni, because in the month of Iyar we have Pesach Sheni. V'gam Yesh Lag Ba'omer Alua the Reb Shimon B'Chayev Nimshach Road Shvuah V'hu. We have also right before Shavuos. It's like a simcha. Kam zeh hochim l'shar kirei tzadichim u'smechim yod. Okay, so that's talking about Iyar. You know, it's a minhag on Erev Shabbos, which is Tazria Mitzorah. We have a double header. So we also bring down the Chavetz Chaim ala Torah, and we'll take from the Parshas Mitzorah. Zos Tiyeh Torah's Mitzorah. Who well Kohen. So Chavetz Chaim writes, the Chazal in the Masechtas Erchin. Now you're going through Shas, aren't you? You do Daf Yomi.
Yeah.
Do you remember doing Erchin at all? Maybe in one of the Erchin is in Kachim. Erchin.
Oh. Yeah, I think so.
So Mitzorah, Motzi Shemra, Kolomar Hanagayim Abayim Al Oven Lashon Hara. When we talk about Mitzorah, we all know that it has something to do with Lashon Hara, gossip. V'taras Mitzorah Tluya B'Kohen. And we see that the purification process is dependent upon the Kohen. B'shvil shesifsei Kohen yishmu das. The pasuk says that the lips, the words of the Kohen teach us Torah, vakshu mipiu. We should seek his knowledge. L'amdeinu ba she'ein tarasa tluya b'rofei. We learn from here that in order to be cured of Mitzorah, you don't go to a doctor. Ela b'dibur haKohen, the speech of the Kohen, that's what cures you. As we see in the Mishnah Negoim, haKohen Omer Tahar. The Kohen just says, he doesn't say abracadabra. He says, Tahar, you're pure, you're purified. Mekivan sheh Machlas Nagayim Ba Al Chet Lashon, because the disease of Mitzorah comes from speech. Al Kain Sifza Torah L'Rape is a Chet Gam Kain B'Koach HaDibor. So the only way to cure him is through the power of speech. Haros Ki Movis V'Chaim B'Yad Lashon. As we see that the life and death is dependent upon your speech. And by the way, a good attorney will always advise his client to keep quiet. Anyway, they bring down a Maseh Lamelech that the Chavetz Chaim also brought a mashal. Pam Himshil et Hamitzvos Kulan B'Yachas B'Koach HaDibor B'Mashal Nimratz. Had a good parable. Someone went into a big factory. There are 248 machines working there. For weaving. The big day butts to make all sorts of garments. Something that, and with days of computers, we could appreciate. I think we're going through Ramat Eshkol now. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, hello Levi, I've got a son here. Anyway, there was one machine in that factory ha'ola be'erka kol machonot kulan, which was worth all the machines together. And the workers were told to be very careful with that machine. It was valued more than all the other machines. Compared to this machine, all the others are like nothing. And Chavetz Chaim continues, the 248 machines, Hine,
This way. The Ramat Eshkol.
right, Ramach, the 240 machines are the 248 mitzvahs, aseh, shuzon alim, that we are told to keep. Avo hamachona yoser na'ala, what is the greatest machine? Koach hadibur, shehut bo adam, is the power of speech. V'chaim v'maz b'yad lashon, as we said, life and death is dependent upon speech. Uman hu d'boy chai, whoever wants to live, olav lishmo l'shono hara, should watch his tongue. He hamatana hayoter gdola shenasan lo adam ben boro, and this is the greatest gift that someone could have from his creator. Bal adam haskiach aleh, bal levat einali, with the apple of his eye, lishmor b'tzitzchepi. You ever hear that expression? The apple of my eye.
Sure.
That's it. That's what speech is. Sure. The apple of my eye. Okay, so we've done already two portions of this year. We're up to the part where we're going to make a mishaberach for our chayalim. I got a special list from Yedidya Atlas. Psuei kashel hatfilah. These are the severely wounded soldiers. Ma'ayin ben Sagit, Netanel ben Sivya, Yarden ben Ayela, Yonatan Chaim ben Chemda, Netanel Avraham ben Tchias Simcha, Oded Ephraim ben Vivian, Chaim Eden ben Inbal, Roy Chaim ben Meirav, Avihu Rafael ben Anat, Chaim Daniel ben Hodaya, Iti ben Sigal, Yosef ben Chana, David ben Ziva, Aaron Rafael ben Elka, Niku ben Karina Yehudis, Iti Rafael ben Rotam, Yonatan ben Adiyata, Shlomo Yitzchak ben Rachel, Eliyahu ben Rasit, David ben Chaya, Yosef ben Shoshana, David Michal ben Chanaana, Roy ben Tali, Elad Yaakov ben Shoshana, Menachem David Chai ben Miriam, Moshe Chaim ben Karen, that you all should have a full shlema. And I'd like to add my mechutin, Rabbi Werner, Gerald Werner, who's Baruch Hashem, all the mishpacha came in to see him, to be rough. He's still in the hospital, Shari Tzedek, Yaakov ben Zvora, and also my chavrusa, Yossi Steinovitz, Yosef Dov ben Sarah Reisel, and of course Alan Hirsch, my good friend. You should have a refuah shlema. You know Alan. You know he has a very serious sickness.
I know.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to wish him a refuah shlema. Arvin Yitzchak ben Sima. Okay, so all of them should have a refuah shlema, and for that we have our Tehillim, and today our Tehillim is.
I'm going to be back here in an hour. Can you believe? There's a place over here that's Hadar Geula.
Oh yes, I know Hadar Geula. It's a takeout place.
Yeah. They have incredible sweet kibble that I love.
Hear that? Anybody wants to go to Hadar Geula? Steve will be there soon. Okay.
Oh, you're still taping some?
That's okay. You're kidding. This year, everybody listens. They want to listen to what we say. Perek Yud Beis. Here we go.
תהילים, פרק י"ב. למנצח על השמינית, מזמור לדוד, הושיע אדוני, כי גמר חסיד, כי פסו אמונים, מבני אדם, שב ידברו, איש את רעהו, שפת חלקות, בלב בלב ידברו, יחרד אדוני,
כל שפתי חלקות, לשון.
מדברת גדולות, אשר אמרו, בלשונים מגביר, שפתנו איתנו, מיד עולנו, משודנים, מעמקת עליונים, עתה אקום, יאמר אדוני, אשר בישב, יפיח לו, אמרות אדוני, אמרות טהרות, כסף צרוף,
vivrish. Achenu, Kol Beis Yisrael. Achenu, Kol Beis Yisrael. Hanisunim b'tzara, b'tzara u'b'shivya. Omdim bein bayamu, bein bayabasa. Hamakom yirachem, yirachem aleim, yotziei mitzara. Ve'revacha, u'mefel yahora. Umeshibud legeula hashta bagala ubizman kori. Isn't this amen? Nomar amen. Isn't this what's this called over here? What? Hasvim. This is
the high tech center.
High tech area, and I think the OU
Yes.
moved
The
over.
OU is out here. So.
Out here, right? Exactly. I used to go to a place called Intricate.
Yeah.
Yeah, over here.
Yeah.
They moved.
Yeah.
Anyway, so today's Yortzeit, today's Rosh Chodesh Iyar, the Lamed Nisan, is the Yavitz. And it's interesting, I think Jacob Javits, who was a senator of New York, was, I think, was related to the Yavits,
Really?
or Yaakov Emden. The name Yavits. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Okay. We remember those days of Jake Javits.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Those were days of honest politicians.
And we had, and who else? We had Moynihan. And we had, who was the Italian?
Donato.
Yeah, Alphonse Amato. Okay, let's get back. But today's also the yahrzeit of a great Mekubal, Chaim Vital, who, and the yahrzeit of Yehud Yosef ben Meir Alevi ibn Migash, the Re Migash. Wow, today all these important yahrzeits. I tell you what, we'll start with Chaim Vital. And Chaim, have you ever heard of Chaim Vital? So it's interesting. The word Vital came from the Latin Chaim, Vita. Chaim Vital, who is known as Calabrese, the Marachav, Nolad, born in 1542, 1542, the Niftar, and passed away 1620. Nolad b'Tzfat, he was born in Tzfat. Begil Abba Asrei, Lamad Bekolel Shel Moshe Alshich. At 14 years old, he already learned in the base medrash of the Torah Moshe Alshich. V'achakach, the Ramak. The Ramak is Ramosha Cordovoro. And at this point, we're going to have what's called a tunnel break, because I have no idea, as we are a little in Choshech. Does this tunnel have a name? This is not the Holland Tunnel or the Lincoln Tunnel. No, it's not the Holland or Lincoln.
The BB Tunnel.
This is the Bibula Tunnel, and there's no water above us. I think it's just land.
Oh my gosh, we can't go.
What?
We can't go to the left.
They closed it because of the parade, huh?
Oh my gosh. I don't know how to get you home.
So maybe you could drop me off someplace and get around. I think there's a way to go around. Okay. You know what? I think at this point, we're going to take a break in the shiur. We'll continue it later. We're now going to make an effort. We're obviously passing the marathon, and we are going to try to find a place. You could hear they're announcing the marathon. It will continue, and we want to thank Steve for taking us this far. Let's see if we're passing any of the runners. No, not really. There's got to be a way to get around. It's not Steve's fault, but as you could see, there was a roadblock, and there was no way I could get back. So the only way I could get back was by walking, and I actually walked with a marathon. I was on a marathoner. I did at least 2 kilometers. Here I am sitting at a bench, and we'll continue the shiur. Nachnu namshich et hashiur. Rabbi Yaakov Emden, Ben Reb Tzvi Hirsch, He was the son of the Chacham Tzvi. נולד באלטונה בצפון גרמניה ב-1697 ונפטר בראש חודש אייר שזה היום, למד ניסן, ב-1776. הוא נקרא על שם סבו רבי יעקב, רבו של בודה, גורש לגרמניה. הרבה קהילות ביקשו יכהן כרבם, אבל הוא עלה לארץ ישראל. השם עמדים צורף לו מתקופת רבנותו של 6 שנים בעיר עמדים. אביו, החכם צבי, רב צבי הירש אשכנזי, שנפטר ב-1718, היורצייט זה מחר, באלף אייר. אז זה שבת, אז לכן אני אקרא קצת על התולדות חיים של החכם צבי. הוא נולד בהונגריה ולמד בצעירותו אצל סבו ואביו רב יעקב. אחר כך נדד לסלוניקה ולמד שם אצל רב אליהו קובו. שם הכיר את שיטת הלימוד של הספרדים. חזר לבודה והקים משפחה. חותנו, הגביר, פרנס אותו ברחובות כדי שיוכל להקדיש את חייו לתורה. כשאשתו וביתו נהרגו במהומות מפגז, עזב החכם צבי את הונגריה. הוא כיהן כמה שנים כרבה של סרייבו, אחר כך עבר לגרמניה ושם נישא את ביתו של רבה של אלטונה, המבורג. אחרי רבנותו באלטונה נבחר רבה של אשכנזים באמסטרדם, נחשב לגדול הדור, זכה לכבוד גדול גם מצד השלטונות. מאמסטרדם נענה לבקשת קהילת הספרדים בלונדון, ואת משפחתו שלח לעיר עמדן. מלונדון עבר לגליציה, כיהן ברמה בכמה קהילות ונפטר כרבה של לבוב. את השם אשכנזי ניתן לו כששהה אצל רב אליהו קובו בסלוניקה. אז אני שואל, שמעיהו, מה השייכות לאשכנזי לסלוניקה? אולי שם זה היה קהילה אשכנזי שלא ספרדי. חלק מהמחשבתות חתם החכם צבי כצבי בן יעקב מאופן, מכאן שקיצור סמך טס, לא תמיד ספרדי טהור, אלא סימן טוב, סינטין, רפס ותית או סיפה טובה. רבי יעקב עמדן למד גם באמסטרדם, מלבד בקיאתו בכל מקצועות התורה בנגלה, וניסה להשתלם גם בדקדוק בשפות זרות כמו הולנדית והטינית. בשנת 1715 נישא את בת רב מרדכי כהן מאונגרס פראד ולמד שם בישיבת חותנו. שכר בתכשיטים, סירב לקבל רבנות חוץ מ6 שנים בעמדן. נהג לומר, ברוך אתה השם שלא עשני עבד, אב בית דין. בשנת 1733 חזר לאלטונה והקהילה נתנה לו רשות לפתוח בית מדרש של יחידי סגולה. גם השיג רישיון לייסד בית דפוס בביתו באלטונה, שם הדפיס את רוב ספריו. היבס נודע במלחמתו התקיפה בכת שבתאי צבי. המחלוקת פילגה את יהדות אשכנז לזמן רב. בעקבות המחלוקת נאלץ רב יעקב לעזוב את דירו ועבר לזמן מה לאמסטרדם. שם כתב את ספרו תורת הקנאות נגד שבתאי צבי. בשנת 1752 חזר לאלטונה. חיבר 50 ספרים, ביניהם סידורו המפורסם בית יעקב, לחם שמיים, פירושו המשנה, מור וכסייה על הטורים, שאלת התשובות, שאלת יעווץ, מגילת ספר. אוקיי, עד כאן היעווץ. היום אמרתי שזה היורצייט של הארי מגש. יוסף בן מאיר הלוי אבן מגש, שנולד ב-1077 ונפטר ב-1141. נולד בסביליה בספרד, ובן 12 למד אצל ראש ישיבת אלטינה. היה תלמיד מובהק של הריף, הישמה בישיבה באלסינה 14 שנה. שם הוא סמך ידי הריף. הוא 1103 היה ראש ישיבה. הוא חיבר את השו"ת רימגש, חידוש הרימגש, מגילת ספרים. היום זה גם כן היורצייט של אברהם בן שאול ברודה. נולד ב-1650 ונפטר ב-1717. נולד בפראג, למד בישיבת קרקאו. ב-1692 היה ראש ישיבת פראג. והיה ב-1717 היה בפרנקפורט, מכונה רבן של כל בני הגולה. הוא חיבר שמייסה חירתה וזהו. אני חושב שדיברנו, כן, על חיים ויטל. אנחנו רק הפסקנו במנהרה, in the tunnel we were talking about that he was בגיל 24 למד אלכימיה. we're talking about חיים ויטל. ב-1570 היה תלמיד מובהק של הארי. ב-1577 הוא עבר למצרים, התגורר, ואחר כך התגורר בירושלים 8 שנים. הוא עבר לדמשק ב-1586, חזר לצפת, הוסמך על ידי הרמ"ק. ב-1595 בדמשק היה רב של סיציליה. הוא חיבר עץ הדעת, עץ החיים, ספר המכונה, ספר הפעולות, תעלומות חכמה, לב דוד, שיעורי קדושה, דרך חיים, אבן שוהם. עד כאן היורצייטים של היום. עכשיו אנחנו נלמד את פרק ל"ט. אנחנו בנדחי ישראל, ספר תורת משה, אנחנו מדברים על Oh, look who's here!
I don't want to disturb if you're recording something.
I'm recording. I could say hello, Lizzie.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Look, we bumped into cousin Maishi. It's
see
our
that?
cousin.
That's us. How are you? It's all right. I
How
could
are you?
stop this year. Okay, Mishpacha comes first, so we just had a little interlude. I'm sorry, we're back to Moleach Mavid, salting. V'chein, basar, dagim, v'meitzim, v'vushalim. If you have cooked meat, fish, eggs, v'ein melech mo'il lehem, and salting them won't add to them. You can melech l'tzorach otoshah. You can salt it for that meal. Avalo l'tzorach su'ah acheret, but not for another meal. A paragraph Gimel. Avol tznon, if you have radish, v'uadim pselim, if you have onions and kitniot, v'ungara and peas and cucumbers, shamelech mo'il lehem, by salting them it will help them. Asur lefazer alehem melech. You can't salt them. Rak sheyitol. You could take whatever little, you could take your peas or cucumber and you could dip it, and you could eat it. Because came to Asr Lefazer Melech Al Polin, you surely cannot salt beans and peas, Polin, kidneys, even if you're going to eat it immediately. Because came to Asr Lichbos, Kol Minei Yerokos Aperos Afilu B'li Melech Rak B'mayim. You can't preserve them. All sorts of vegetables and fruits, even without salt, by putting them into water by itself, soaking it into water. Paragraph 4. Asher limloach basar or dag kedei sheyikla the melech. You can't salt the meat or fish so that it will absorb the salt. Afilu malakam hefsed. Even if you don't do it, it'll be at a loss. Subparagraph Hey. Asher liot lahadiach. You can't wash off basar shalonim lach that was not salted in mijari she'avod as zaman gimel yomim, that basar sheshoha gimel yomim kol makom aydei nachrim mutter, but you can rinse it off through a goy. Subparagraph vav mutar la'asot min tibul shekorin mu'orin. You can take a relish she'osim michatichot tznon, which is made from some radish, b'tselim, and onions shekivun shen noagim. Nosnim letocho tekef shemen v'chometz. Since you add to it the relish, you add to it some oil or some vinegar, machlich kol melch. So it doesn't have the salt. It won't be molech umabid. Subparagraph 7. Also spoke sheichar yayin lekli sheyesh bo chometz. You can't pour wine or beer into a vessel that has vinegar, kedei shigam hu yitchamesh, so that it should become fermented. Kol dover sham melech moel asur. Whenever the salting would help benefit the item, the dummy, then it's equivalent to tanning. Okay, the next avmalacha is the 26th hamamachik, which is to scrape or to erase. Hamamachik dahainu mabid sa'ar or tzemer al, or if you scrape off hair or wool from skin. Ad shemachlik or, until you smooth the sin, or mishashif afilu biyado, if you rub it with your hand on the or amtuach al akronim, on a frame shikorin and the gamosha sofer mosin, just like the scribes do lasot klaf in order to make parchment. O kashmo shaburskim, or like the tanners make osin b'cholzeh chayav mishum mamachik. This is a form of erasing or scraping. If you peel off the skin, it's so fun of therefore you can't scrape it off with your nail. Something that's new or something that's old. Avomutar bekancho, but you can. This is leather, but bakora or acharis you can use a board or a potsherd. Muchan she'ein bo mishum iser tiltul labazo. And then also, what happens if you have a metal that's before the shul? Bazo shelifnei beit knesset ein lo chod. If it's not sharp, it's thick. Barosh mutar lekanechbo. You can, let's say you have mud, you can take the mud off your shoe using scraping it off that because it's thick. It's not thin. Okay, subparagraph B. Asur l'shaf sheif minlayim. You can't polish your shoes on Shabbos biyodo, even with your hand, or yedei beged b'sachsacho. You can't have a cloth to polish it. The pshita hayedei meshicha. You surely can't put a polish on it. Shikorin, put books. You can't put wax. The havi mamrich. It's like spreading it, smearing. It's like smearing. Yosebe al retiyah. Also on a bandage or a kli or a kol dover chayev lachein usher l'marech retia. You can't smear a bandage in lo lechola unless it's for a chola sheyesh bo sakana, who's in danger. Avol ochlin lo shaykh mamachik. The scraping, erasing is not applicable to food. Lo shaykh mamachik lachein mutar l'marech chema. Therefore, you can spread bread, butter, operos alechem, or fruits on bread. Subparagraph Gimel Hamamarait Seor Mina Netzeh. If you take the feathers off so you take the hair off the feather so that you'll have a clean stick. That's a form of chid. And the last paragraph for today, Mutar l'shav shev kelim im chol. You can polish the vessels with sand, shalo yitain bo mayim, as long as you don't put water of a low kli kesef, but you can't do that to silver, the yayin stain with the tartar, the low melech with salt, because that's the way artisans do it. Okay, ad kan ashir shalayom ani machil kulam, Shabbat shalom umavorach.